You're listening to the TransformationCoach.me podcast, and I'm your host, Adam Shively. Let's get after it. All right, my friends, welcome to another episode of the TransformationCoach.me podcast. It's your buddy, Adam Shively. I am here, and I'm ready to share a good episode with you today. We're going to talk about how to make good, dare I say, great decisions when facing stressful situations. I've got, like I said, this is one of those special episodes where I pull a file, a story out of the life of Adam. All right. You know it's going to be good. Last time I did one of these, I talked about when I did my obstacle course race and I tore my pec and the surgery and my mindset and staying on plan and all that stuff. And this one is another goodie. I get into these little adventures that, life kind of throws those curveballs our direction sometimes. And whether we're ready or not, they're there. We have to deal with them. So I feel like this is just going to be a great example of how I deal with stressful situations. I'm just kind of, freestyling this one. I don't have any notes. I'm just going to tell you the story. We're going to talk about it, and we'll see what you guys think. All right? So here's the deal. Again, the topic of this podcast is facing stress and still trying to make the best decision possible. So the example I'm giving you is my electric car adventure. So I've been researching electric cars for a few weeks now. Backstory is I drive a giant truck that gets like 12 miles per gallon in gas. And I'm like, all right, I love my truck. It's paid for. I'm not going to get rid of it. But it sure would be nice to not have to get gas anymore. So I have researched the heck out of these. I find a used Nissan Leaf about an hour and a half away from my house. I'm like, all right, this has potential. This is cool. So I started researching the Nissan Leaf, the brand, and really happy with it, happy with the mileage. Everything is looking good. So we schedule a test drive, most likely going to buy it. And as you know, I am a planner. I plan everything. I encourage you guys to plan. Taking time to plan things out usually minimizes the stress. That kind of came, well, it didn't come back to bite me in this situation, but, sometimes life just has, it's going to turn in a different direction. Life has other ideas for us, all right? So we schedule a test drive. I've got to have my wife and kids drive me up there because most likely I'm going to buy it and drive it back. Now, I know, because I've done my research, I know that this vehicle has an 87-mile range. And my house is about 80 miles away from the dealership. So I'm like, I could push it, but I'm driving on the highway. Who knows? I might turn the air conditioning on. I don't feel good about that. So I'm going to find a charging station. So about halfway between the town of Noblesville, Indiana, and Bloomington, Indiana, shout out to both of those towns, is Indianapolis. All right, Indianapolis, our state capital. And I was like, I got to find a charging station in Indy, just to top off the tank, get a quick charge going, and I'm good to go. I'm home. Awesome. No problem. No problem, right? Easy. So I research the charging stations. I find the exact one. I know there's a charger there. I know what exit I'm getting off on. I know how many miles it is. Like, it is researched and ready. All right? Everybody's feeling good about it. We do the test drive. Yeah, good to go. Do the old car dealership wheel and deal thing. Knocked a little bit off the price. Way to go. And off we go. My wife takes the kids. She drives them back. I said, meet you there. I'm going to take a quick pit stop in Indy like planned, and we are good to go. I got home 12 hours later. So this is my adventure. And along the way, lots of stress. Now, one thing that tends to save me a lot is I have a backpack. It's a man pack, all right? And in that backpack, I always keep water. I have a half-gallon jug of water that's always full. Anytime I'm traveling anywhere, I've got that on me. And I get these little dried meat snacks from the brand Epic, E-P-I-C. It's really good. They have dried salmon, dried beef liver. I know it sounds gross, but I like it. And I had walnuts on me, an entire bag of walnuts. So I always have water, always have food, because you never know, right? So it should take me about 90 minutes to get home. And everything's going good. Driving home, the car's performing awesome. I love it. It's comfortable. And it's not one of those little tiny things. You guys know I'm a big guy. I'm, 6'2.5", and I weigh around 220, 225 pounds. So I can't fit in one of those little guy cars, those little like half car things. This is a normal sized vehicle. I would just like to state that for the record. All right. I didn't totally just wimp out and get a tiny little car going from the truck. But I love the car. It's awesome. It's performing great on the highway. Zero stress. I am winning. I have planned, and I'm like, yes, this is perfect. And here comes my exit. I'm about 35-ish miles in. Everything is going exactly as I had planned it. We get off on my exit, and I get to the electric vehicle charging station, which is at a gas station. And I'm like, all right, cool. There it is. This is the moment. And I look to swipe my credit card and pay for that charge, which is only like $2 to charge a vehicle, which is crazy good. And then I'm like, wait a second. There is no credit card swipe. How in the hell does this thing even work? That was the one thing I didn't research. Was I just assumed. I made that critical error in assuming that it worked like a gas pump. Like you swipe your card, plug the thing in, good to go. I researched how to plug in and charge, but not how to pay and access the pump. That was my error, folks. That was my error. And so I'm trying to figure this out. It needs some sort of a membership key to access that you swipe, and then it says you can call in for help, and we can do it. We can open the charging pump thing over the phone. But the number was wiped off. I go inside to ask the gas station owner, and he's like, "Sorry, that's not in our control. It's not our thing. It's somebody else rents that or whatever." So I was like, "All right, screwed." But I still have 50 miles plus on the gauge. So all we do, simply, make that next great decision. The next best decision I could make was look for the next closest charging station. Now I'm going to have to backtrack about 15 miles. Back into the heart of Indianapolis, there's a giant mall called Circle Center Mall. I've heard there are charging stations there. I've had people that I've read their YouTube comments and things like that good to go, they work. I felt very, very confident. Okay, just simply, it's a little bit out of the way, but we go to Circle Center Mall and we charge. And it doesn't tell you, the app doesn't tell you exactly where it's located. It's just like when you type in an address and you get directions on your phone for driving somewhere. It doesn't say, this is located inside of a giant parking garage, and there's only one of them, which was the case. So there's a giant parking garage in Circle Center Mall, and who knows how many thousands of parking spaces. There is one electric charging vehicle station, and I managed so I drive back about 15 miles. So I'm down into the 30s on my miles, and I drive around the parking garage. I'm asking people. They don't know, like, what's an electric vehicle? And then finally I find it. I found that sucker. I found the little guy, and it was accessible. Nobody was there. So I pull in, and then I see it again. No credit card, no access. And I'm like, okay, but there's a number. I'm calling the number this time, and we're going to figure this out. So I call the number. They are super, super helpful, super nice. Like, no problem. We will just fill out some stuff, get you an account set up. We can add your credit card to your account. We'll pay for you. No big deal. All right, we're good to go. Except this isn't an underground parking garage. They can't access the signal on this machine. And they try to reset the machine. It's just not picking up the signal because it's an underground parking garage, and I am screwed. So I just stay there. I'm like, all right, what is the next best decision? I sat and I ate because I was getting hungry. I was thirsty. I'm like, all right, I'm stressing out. I'm hungry. I'm thirsty. I got my rations with me. I'm going to call my wife, let her know what's going on. And so that was kind of the decision-making process. And sometimes you have to do that in stressful situations. You got to just take a step back, pause. If you're hungry, being hungry and stressed out isn't a good combo. So if you got healthy food on you, fuel up, and then start making good decisions. All right? So that was the process. I was like, okay. I got on the app. I called the guy from the app again. I said, all right, here's the deal. We got to find one that's close. I've got like 38 miles left. Let's make a good decision together. Let's find it. He goes, I've got one for you, buddy. It looks good. It's been charged on today, which means people are accessing it. We are good to go. And he could tell that it was open. It was another 8 miles away. So I pull out of the garage. When I pull out of the garage, I realize, oh, crap. It is the high school Final Four in Indiana, which basketball is huge, all right? And there are like 1 million people now in the Circle Center Mall area, and I'm in traffic, and I'm just sitting there burning miles. So I used up twice as many miles to get to this next location as I should have. So now I'm down into like the 20s, the high 20s. And I'm using my app, and I'm on the phone. He wouldn't even get off the phone with me. He's like, "This is going to work, sir. It's going to work. We got you. We are getting you home." He was getting all intense on me. "We're getting you home." I'm like, "Yes, you are, Daniel. You rock, man. Thank you." And then he's like, "You should be seeing it on your right." And it's another parking garage, but it's above ground. I was like, "Okay, cool." And I go on one side. It's not there. He goes, "Try the other side." The other side is a private parking garage with a locked door for an apartment complex. Screwed again. So once again, no access. And he's like, "All right, I think our next best decision is to go back to Circle Center. I have found another electric vehicle charging station in that area." "All right, I'm like, "Daniel, this has to be the right decision, my man. This has to be it, because I'm running out of miles, man. I'm starting to freak out." So I go back to Circle Center, and at this point in time, my phone is also dying. I don't want to plug it into the vehicle because it pulls charge from the vehicle, and I need it for directions for the app to find any charging stations. So dire straits. So he guides me back into Circle Center Mall in the parking garage, and yes, there is another one, but it is out of order. So then he wants me to go back to the other parking spot that we found before and try that again. We try it again, no luck. I'm like, "All right, dude, I'm breaking up with you, Daniel. I'm no longer talking to you on the phone. I'm figuring this out in some other way." So by now, my next best decision was, my phone is almost dead. I need to charge that sucker. So up into the mall I go, and I find one of those little plug-in stations, and I'm standing there surrounded by 12-year-old girls that are there on a Friday night, texting about boys or whatever, and I'm plugged in, standing there next to this mass of teenage angst. And so I'm there plugging in, trying to get some charge on, calling my wife, having her research towing services. I'm like, this might need to happen. So, and then it starts pouring down rain outside. And so I have to buy an umbrella. That was another good decision. Every time I'm walking by, I'm in and out of Circle Center Mall at this point, probably 6 times. And I'm walking by Cinnabon, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut. I have to walk through the food court every time I'm trying to charge my phone or buy an umbrella or whatever it is I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to find police officers to ask them where charging stations are. I'm trying to ask the desk at the mall. And it's just jacked up because I am like on charging station number 4 or 5. There was another one that Daniel sent me on a wild goose chase for that we never even found. So that was in there too. And I'm down to less than 20 miles. I have less than 20 miles. The thing is blinking at me going, "You have low mileage. Battery needs to be charged." I'm like, "Yes, little car, I know this. I'm trying, brother." And so then I have one last shot. I find a charging station right outside of where I am parked. You exit the garage. It's right there. It is pouring down rain, so I bought an umbrella. I go out there, and I call the number. I'm like, "I need to know for sure that this will charge my vehicle." And she says, "Yes, sir, it will work. This is good to go. Go get your car and park here. You are good." I said, "Okay, I believe in you." And I said, "Don't steer me wrong now." I forget what her name was. So I go inside. I get the car again, pull it out, and I call the number again. I talk to a different person, and she goes, "Oh, sorry, sir. We need 4G connection, and this is only 2G. I can't remotely access this pump to unlock it." "What?" I was like, "The last lady told me we could." I asked her that, and she said yes. She's like, "Oh, she must be new." And at this point, I'm standing in the rain, just like wanting to charge my new little car, my new ride, Electra. Carmen, I named it Carmen Electra because that just made sense. And so I'm on like charging attempt number 6 or 7. I've got 18 miles on my tank, and I'm like, all right, I'm not getting home, and I'm probably not charging the vehicle. I want to get as close as I can, and then I'm going to either stay in a hotel and try to charge at the hotel, because I have this little plug that I can do, but it takes like 20 hours to charge it, all right? These fast charge stations are what I was trying to access. So I've eaten most of my snacks. I have tried to make as good decisions as possible. I've resisted the temptation of walking past the food court in the mall 6 or 7 times at this point. It's getting late. I normally go to bed at 8 o'clock, right? And it's like 10. And I'm like, I'm driving to Greenwood, Indiana. There is a Holiday Inn Express. They sounded really nice on the phone. They may let me charge my vehicle. Let's do this. It is 12 miles away. I've got 18 miles. Let's rock. And I'm going down the highway on an interstate, driving like 40 miles an hour. People are honking and passing me. It's pouring down rain. I've got the windows cracked because I haven't figured out how to use the defroster on my vehicle yet. But it's still performing lovely. I love the car, side note. And I get off on the wrong exit because it got all weird. There was construction. I get off on the wrong exit, and I'm like, oh, no. I've got 12 miles left. I got to figure this out. Or I'm on the side of the interstate, pouring down rain at midnight. Not a good place to be, all right? So I find some light. I pull off, and it's a Lowe's parking lot. I call a tow truck company. I'm trying to find a 24-hour service. So I'm kind of going through my Rolodex of, all right, no hotels, got to get home, next good decision. You got to just get a tow truck, suck it up. It's going to cost some money, and we get home. So Eddie, the tow truck man, came and got me, loads up my Nissan Leaf, and a couple hours later, we are home. All right, so in all those stressful situations, I mean, that was like 12 hours. I bought the car at noon, got home at midnight, and I should have been home at about 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And it's a story that it doesn't have anything to do with fitness. It doesn't have anything to do specifically with nutrition, but it has to do with we can make good decisions. We got to take some time to step away from the moment and think about what that next good decision is. You can't be overwhelmed by the moment, and that's what happens to so many of us. It's easy. It's very, very easy. But if you can take that time, step out of the situation, and just think, all right, what's the next, easy for me to say, the next best thing for me to do? What is the next best thing that I can do in this moment? Whether it's my phone is running down, I need to charge it right now, or that's a big problem because I can't communicate, can't find my way out of here, or got to find that next closest charging station, or it's time to throw in the towel and get my butt towed home just so I can get home. All right? So the decision-making process, it'll work whether it's a situation like mine or if it's a situation like, all right, I am heading to a party. I don't want to break my diet. So what is the next best decision that I can do? I can bring some healthy food that's really tasty and that no one will even notice, but I can eat that and then I'm on plan and then I'm not like the guy that's on the diet at the party. Or, whatever it is. Any of those peer pressure situations, any of those life stress moments, what is the next best decision that you can make? Think about it and baby step it to your ultimate goal. My ultimate goal was to get my butt home in my new car, and then we never leave town with that car ever again, right? I know the radius. I am never leaving town. I know how far I need to go before I charge, and I've got all my little access cards ordered, by the way, so now I can access all those pumps wherever I am. All right. I keep calling them pumps, but they're charging stations. I was told these are charging stations. So that is the real life example. And like I said, again, it wasn't about fitness. It wasn't about nutrition specifically, but it's about, good decision making pays off across the board and not freaking out. Like I, wasn't getting mad with any of these people. I wasn't yelling at Daniel on the phone who was leading me on the wild charging port goose chase. Because what's that going to do? I wasn't letting my emotions get the best of me. I was laughing along the way. Each little stop, each police officer I talked to, or the woman that I bought the umbrella off of in the women's clothing store at the mall, or wherever I was telling my story, and we were kind of having a laugh about it. I'm like, yeah, it's kind of weird. It's crazy. And a lot of people are like, wait a second. It doesn't have any gas in it? I'm like, no gas. It's all electric. Well, why would you do that? I just need to get it home. Where's the charging station? But I got into some pretty interesting conversations. When I was charging my phone, I found somebody that wasn't a 12-year-old girl, and I talked to this woman that was from Kansas, and I talked to her a little bit and had a cool conversation. She was there to watch one of her relatives play in the high school basketball tournament, so that was cool. And then Eddie, the tow truck man, my God, that guy had some stories. No seat belts in the tow truck, but we got home safe. Didn't tell my wife that, so if she listens to the podcast, she might get on me about that. No seat belts, but lots of stories about like people pulling guns on him when he's trying to repo their car. So that was an interesting conversation for sure. But no, it was cool. It was cool to get in there and just talk to people, interact in a non-stressful situation. Be like, all right, how can I make the best of this situation? And I even went on Facebook Live as Eddie the tow truck man was coming to get me. I went on Facebook Live and I was like, all right, I just got to share this because it's just been a crazy day. And I want to kind of make fun of myself, and you guys can make fun of me as well. And my dad's on there teasing me, and some of my team members from my gym here in Bloomington were making fun of me. But everybody's like, oh, you got a great attitude about it. At least you can laugh about it. And like, yeah. So if you get locked into one of these stressful situations, first key point, make sure that you take a second to breathe, think, and make the next best decision. Second takeaway would be, getting emotional and freaking out on people that don't deserve it isn't going to help anything. And then just staying as positive as possible in the moment. Being able to laugh at yourself and just don't pile on extra stress yourself. One shining example of this situation was one of my trips from the underground garage up into the mall and back and forth. I was across from where the checkout booth was, and I had asked this guy, I saw a plug. I was like, hey, is there any chance I could plug in? He's like, I can't do it, And, I was like, all right, cool, I understand, man. I told my situation. We kind of had a laugh about it. And then I'm in the car. I'm talking to my wife, and I saw him looking at me. I think he could kind of see I was stressing out a little bit, and I think you could probably hear me because I had my windows down talking to my wife. And he came over, and he goes, hey, man, let's plug in. And it was the slow charge. Like, he couldn't give me enough juice to get me home, but I didn't tell him that. I was like, sorry, man, it's going to take me 20 hours to do this. It's not even worth it. But he came over, and he's like, hey, let's plug in. Let's get you home. Just don't tell my boss. So hopefully his boss isn't listening to this podcast. I won't name names. He did a good thing. And so I got to plug in and get a little bit of juice. It wasn't much, but it probably got me to end up getting me to the Lowe's parking lot when I had screwed up and taken the wrong exit. So it ended up paying off. But he looked at, I tried to give him some money, and he goes, no, man, just do something good for somebody else the next time you get an opportunity. I was like, damn, man, that's cool. So shout out to that guy. I didn't even get his name, but very cool. And I just wanted to end it with that. So if I had gone up to him and screamed at him, like, I saw the plug there, and if I had gotten nasty with him and been like, tried to intimidate him or whatever, he wouldn't have walked over and offered me to plug in. And he did. So that was cool. That was very cool. So shout out to him. That is all I've got for you today. So it's one of those real life moment podcasts from the life of Adam. Hopefully you got something out of it. I don't do these very often because it's not fitness specific, but I feel like making good decisions is a big deal, and that will apply to fitness, to health. I didn't break down and go like, screw it, I'm eating Cinnabon, I'm freaking out, I need to eat my feelings, or whatever. It was just a moment. It was a moment. I consider it to be an interesting and funny little adventure that I've had. I'm proud that it's done. I love my ride, and I love driving by those gas stations. So I'll be the guy. If you see me out in Carmen Electra, then you will know. I'll be the one honking at you and waving while you're pumping gas. All right, guys. That is it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you can pull something away from it. Be sure to check the blog. I'll have some notes off of that, and you can, just some kind of highlight how to apply this to nutrition, how to apply it to fitness, and that way it'll be a little duo where you get the story here and you get all the application on the blog. Just go to transformationcoach.me. That's www.transformationcoach.me, and you'll be able to see the blog area right there. This is episode number 36, so check that out. Say hi to me on Instagram. Say hi to me on Facebook Live every Tuesday night. We do the Transformed Live, and it is awesome. Great reaction from that. I love live casting, And we're kicking out new tips every single Tuesday night. We go 7:15 p.m. Eastern. Check that out. It's the transformationcoach.me Facebook fan page. One last shout out, one last little promo. My Defeat the Cheat group rocks. Check it out. Join my free Facebook support group. We're just there to help each other get that momentum with our nutrition, gain control, and just reclaim that consistency with our nutrition and with our fitness. We call it the Defeat the Cheat group. If you go to www.defeatthecheat.com, check it out. That'll take you right to the area where you can join our group. That's it, guys. That's all I got for you this week. We'll be back next week for another episode. In the meantime, get out there and own it every meal, every workout, every day. See you on the next episode. Hey, I'm back. Real quick, this episode has been brought to you by my Transformed monthly coaching membership. If you guys struggle with being consistent with your nutrition and fitness plan, or if you're one of those people that really just struggles with losing weight, regaining, I need you to check this out because I think I've got the answer. All right, I've been working hard on this. I've surveyed everybody in my email list, my social media platforms, and I asked you to help me design the perfect program to conquer these types of danger zones, all right? I asked you what type of coaching you want. Is it online coaching, videos, group conference strategy calls, or one-on-one email systems where you are just accountable every day to your plan? And you guys answered. I've developed a program that I think you'll be very, very happy with. I've got 3 membership level options. And here's the thing though, guys, the rosters are filling up. And once they are full, and you're going to have to be put on a wait list. So if you go to the website, www.transformationcoach.me, you can check out the membership options. If one of the rosters is full for our basic, elite, or prime memberships, if one of those fills up, then we will just leave a note there where you have the option to get on a wait list. Otherwise, jump on it while you can. There's no reason to continue to be trapped in that black hole of fitness doom, where you start a new program, you get initial results. Life happens, it throws you a curveball, we crash and burn, go back to the start. And round we go. Will we ever get results? Nobody knows, but probably not, right? And I want to help you through that. I know that with these membership options, I can help you get better results from any program. And if you need a specific program to follow, we can do that too. So check it out, go to the website, and let me know what you think. I'd love to get my hands on you and help you out. I will see you inside the course.